What's up, guys? So it took me a while to grab an iPhone in my hand. Salute to Frank Molina for hooking me up with an iPhone. Yeah, I wanted to do a tutorial on how to create an Apple ID. I know a lot of people have iPhones. That's probably the majority of people. So let me show you guys how that's done. I have this iPhone 7 in my hand here, straight from the start screen. I'll get right to it. So just either click the middle or tap the screen, either one. I'm just hitting the button real quick. Go ahead and select the language that you're gonna go with. English or Espanol, cualquiera de los dos. For this one, I'm gonna use English for this one. Okay, and in here, depending on where you're at, of course, majority of people I'm assuming are in the US, but depending on where you're at, you can, of course, select the country you're in, obviously. Well, we're in the US, so here the phone gives you an extra option, which is if you were to have another iPhone or a tablet that has an Apple ID already on it, and you can actually transfer that information from one to the other, but if you have an Apple ID, then you wouldn't really be watching this. So yeah, so I'm gonna set it manually for now, but yes, this also allows you to transfer your information from one to the other if you wanted to. So for now, for this tutorial, like I said, I'm gonna set up manually for this one. So let me tap it, sorry, there it is. All right, so here's gonna give you a couple of suggestions. So if you have an Apple ID, you can go for the first two, or you can connect it to iTunes and it should back up your stuff, but you still need your Apple ID password. So I recommend, if you don't know that, delete it or go to Apple Store to get them help you to reset that, because it's very important if you don't know your Apple ID. So yeah, for now, this, like I said, we're gonna set up as new. So we're gonna set up as new. So you're gonna give the option one more time to make sure you're sure you don't have one, sign in or not. It's a little bit confusing, or it tells you if you want to use a different one. But like I said, I don't have one, so it's gonna hit forgot or don't have one. So click on there. Once I click on there, it's going to give me, once again, an extra option. Be like, hey, are you sure you don't have one? So it's going to say forget or Apple ID. It's going to ask you a few questions like an email address or a phone number to see if you actually have one or not, or to find it. But like I said, for this tutorial basis, I am going to create. Now you can also skip this stuff as well too, which I'll show you guys as well too. But for now, I'm going to create a new one here. Once I create a new one, so I'm going to set up the birthday for it. So I believe my business started I'm just gonna make a date here real quick. The 90s, just cause. Alright, so then from there, it's gonna ask you the first and last name. And you put in your information on there as well. And then here's a very important one. So here to give you a free iCloud email, which you can use, and it works the same way. The only downside to that, if you forget your password or you need something reset, since it's not a valid email, it is not gonna be able to send anything. So it's gonna be a little bit harder for you to reset your password or get that password. So in this suggestion, I would suggest use a current email address. And if you don't have one, create a Gmail account on an Android device or PC. You can set that up as well too on any Google, Yahoo, Hotmail, anything like that. You can set that up, and you'd put the email here. So for instance, I'm going to be using the Gmail that I created. So we all text 101 at gmail.com. All right, so like I said, make sure to use something that you can use to validate, because like I said, it is something that's going to validate your stuff as well too, to make sure that you are using a proper email. So like I said, either get a chance to create one, or nowadays everybody should have one, like the old Yahoo or something like that. Just like I said, to get a chance to create one or use one. So I'm going to be using the Gmail here. So of course I'm going to hit next. And here it's going to ask you for a password. So let me type in a password real quick. All right, so once you type in your password, you're gonna hit next at the top. Make sure to make it something a little difficult. You always wanna add a number to it, capital letter to it, and then any kind of symbol or something like that. So just remember on that, it makes it super easier when you do that. So it doesn't ask you to, no, it's incorrect, or I'm sorry, it's not strong enough and stuff like that. So if you can use a number, a capital letter, and a symbol, you'll be fine. So yeah, so go ahead and hit next. Then this is a SIM card that I have in here at the moment. I guess I'll use this one at the moment for now. So yeah. Of course, you want to read Apple's terms or something like that. Seems, yeah, South Park episode. But yeah, you want to read Apple's terms to make sure that, well, you don't have to read it. Nobody really does nowadays. But of course, you want to send a copy to yourself if you ever get a chance to. But I read some of it, and it's similar to Google's. So like I said, just Apple's a little bit more secure and more thorough, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I'll agree to that. It's gonna create that Apple ID, and I'm going through this step by step. So I had to keep running since I had to make sure that it's working. But if you guys get a chance, please like, subscribe to my YouTube, like the Facebook page. That'll help out a lot. I've been getting a lot of likes lately, and it's moving. So hopefully it could keep moving. So thank you guys again for that. And then what I'm waiting for is just to create any account at the moment right now. So I want to make sure that it is working. So there it is. It is working. It's going to continue to a couple extra settings for it. Oh, cool. I like how the camera just changed. So there's the express settings on it. I usually don't mess with these settings at all. I'll probably change them later once I start using different applications. It's up to you guys. You can learn more about it and read them on there. For now, I'll just continue for the tutorial. This is the updates. Be careful on updates. Some updates have known to been a little bit funny sometimes, so be careful, or kind of don't update really quick. Try to read the feedback on them before you update, but it does give you the option to do it manually or not. Excuse me. This here is Siri, of course, so we can set up Siri or we can skip it, of course. For this tutorial, I'll skip it because it's gonna ask you to say a few things for it. It's something that we can voice recognition, I guess, if you guys can do it. But simple things, ask you to say 3 things, recognize your voice, and that's it. So I'll skip this for now. Screen time. It shows you how much time you're using on the phone, different apps and stuff like that. Or if you have your child and you wish to see or monitor them, this is another way of doing that as well too. I won't be doing that in this video, so I'll skip it for now. This, if you wish to share with Apple. I'm not a big Apple user, so I am gonna hit share with Apple. It's up to you guys if you want to do that. I don't use this as much to say, so I'll just share with Apple for now. Makes it easier just in case the phone has any issues. Same thing go for the app analytics. Sorry, same thing. I'll just share with Apple, like I said, because you never know what can happen. For this is the home button. If you're not familiar with an iPhone, who isn't nowadays? Everybody's using an iPhone or an iPad at this point now. So the home button is something to get used to. But if you don't, you can actually get used to it by getting it started. But for now, I'm going to skip it since I already kind of know what's up. And a lot of people should already know as well too. Just middle button is going to do a lot of stuff, which I'll show you guys right now as well too. Then it's going to give you the option as far as how big you want your icons. You want the standard or the zoom. It's not much of a difference. Well, I guess it is, but keep the standard for now. So I'll hit next, and yeah, it's creating the Apple ID there. So it's already been registered on there. I guess I'll just have to continue the steps, which I'm going to show you guys now. So this is the iPhone here. Like I said, this is the home key here. It'll always take you back home. Let me see if I can tone down the display there so we can see a little bit better. Created an Apple ID, so now you see how we're almost not done yet. So it does want to verify the email, so we want to verify that. If not, and we want to verify again, like I said, it's always best to use the actual email. If you use an iCloud, it'll actually just send it straight to the phone, so it makes it easier to create it. But of course, like I said, it makes it a little bit harder when you want to reset your password and stuff like that. So let me get this verification off this other phone, type it in, and I'll be right back. Alright, so sorry, I guess I had the Android phone right next to me there, so I'm gonna make sure the verification, because I kind of want to show you guys step by step. So I had already opened the email since it was next to me, but you'll receive an email from them. Once you receive that email, it's gonna give you a code there, and you're just gonna type that in. Once you do that, it's gonna verify. There it is. That's the Apple ID. Then from there, the same password and email you created, it's gonna do the same for you when you download apps. Yeah, it's just a little basic tutorial. Like I said, if you have any other questions regarding an iPhone, I actually have one in my hand now, so it'll make it a little bit easier for me to make videos on it now as well too. I'll probably post one more and real quick on if, like I said, if a phone was already handed to you like this and you're trying to sign in on it. It's really simple. Well, I can do it now actually. Let me just skip this real quick. Okay, so say for instance, like I said, if it was something that was received that you already got, and no, it shouldn't have an Apple ID. If you buy an iPhone, it shouldn't have an Apple ID registered, because then you return it ASAP. Like I said, it's not gonna work for you. So right off the bat, make sure it does not have an Apple ID. This should be cleared. But if it doesn't, like I said, it'll have a sign-in thing, and you'll walk through the same process that I just did, except not so thorough because it's skipping a few steps. But you should be able to sign in, and like I said, you'll use that to download apps from the App Store. You'll use that for their music stuff as well. So like I said, it is something that I do recommend setting up for, as far as like an actual email, so they can verify it's you. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I finally got an iPhone in my hand. I'll make more content on this. I'll probably post another video up on how to customize stuff. Thank you guys for watching.